Battle of St. Mihiel was fought near the end of the Great War from September 12th to the 16th in September 1918. The battle involved the American Expeditionary Force as well as almost 50,000 French troops. General John J. Pershing was the commanding officer of the United States during the battle and fought against the German forces who were defending in a series of in-depth trenches. The Battle of St. Mihiel is known today for the strategic threat of the St. Mihiel salient to the Allied transportation network in eastern France. The battle was also the first U.S. operation and victory by an independent American army in the Great War. St. Mihiel marked the first U.S. tank attack personally led by Lieutenant George S. Patton. As well, it was the first exposure to large-scale offensive operations for numerous future World War II commanders.
General Pershing requested and received 3,000 Allied artillery pieces and 430 tanks.
September 12th, after 4 hours of violent artillery fire preparation, and accompanied by small tanks, the infantry of the 1st and 4th Corps advanced. The operation was carried out with entire precision. Just after daylight on September 13th, elements of the 1st and 26th Divisions made a junction near Haton-Châtel and Vigneulles, 18 kilometers northeast of Saint-Mihiel. The rapidity with which our divisions advanced overwhelmed the enemy, and all objectives were reached by the afternoon of September 13th. The enemy had apparently started to withdraw some of his troops from the tip of the salient on the eve of our attack, but had been unable to carry it through. We captured nearly 16,000 prisoners, 443 guns, and large stores of material and supplies. The energy and swiftness with which the operation was carried out enabled us to smother opposition to such an extent that we suffered less than 7,000 casualties during the actual period of advance. The material results of the victory achieved were very important. An American army was an accomplished fact, and the enemy had felt its power. No form of propaganda could overcome the depressing effect on the moral of the enemy of this demonstration of our ability to organize a large American force and drive it successfully through his defenses. It gave our troops implicit confidence in their superiority and raised their morale to the highest pitch. For the first time, wire entanglements ceased to be regarded as impassable barriers, and open warfare training, which had been so urgently insisted upon, proved to be the correct doctrine. Our divisions concluded the attack with such small losses and in such high spirits that without the usual rest they were immediately available for employment in heavy fighting in a new theater of operations.
"3,000 miles from home, an American army is fighting for you. Everything you hold worthwhile is at stake. Only the hardest blows can win against the enemy we are fighting."
Corporal Eugene Kennedy from the 78th Division wrote in his diary on Thursday, September 12, 1918. Hiked through dark woods, no lights allowed, guided by holding on the pack of the man ahead. Stumbled through the underbrush for about half-mile into an open field where we waited in a soaking rain until about 10 p.m. We then started on our hike to St. Mihiel front, arriving on the crest of a hill about 1 a.m. I saw a sight which I shall never forget. It was the 0 hour. In one instant, the entire front, as far as the eye could reach in either direction, was a sheet of flame, while the heavy artillery made the earth quake. The barrage was so intense
that for a time we could not make out whether the Americans or Germans were putting it over.
Sergeant Edwin Girth from the 51st Artillery wrote in his diary on Friday, September 13th.
A great day for the Americans. Our infantry is still pushing them back. Many prisoners are going by. We were at guns all morning but had to stay in camp all afternoon. We are out of range and await orders to move up. Steady stream of men and material going up constantly. 2 of our boys sneaked off and went up the old Hun trenches and brought back lots of Hun souvenirs, razors, glasses, pictures, and equipment.
The offensive plan required 2 nearly simultaneous attacks. The 5th Corps, composed of the 26th, the 4th, and the 15th French Colonial Divisions, would assault the west face of the salient, while the 4th Corps, which included the 1st, 42nd, 89th Divisions, and the 1st Corps, the 2nd, 5th, 90th, 82nd Divisions, were driving against the southeast face. Meanwhile, the 2nd French Colonial Corps was to make a secondary attack against the nose, following up and exploiting the success of the 2 main attacks. Units from the U.S. 80th Division from 1st Army Reserve reinforced this effort after the first day. Thanks to the artillery furnished by the French, the 1st Army had over 3,000 guns to support the attacks. The German camp lost over 5,000 men, and another 13,000 soldiers were captured. The United States lost 7,000 men in the battle. The battle boosted the morale of the American troops, who then moved to the Argonne Forest to continue the war.